Route 66, this is the highway on which life once flowed. Cars used to move day and night, but now that time has passed. After the new freeways were built, this road was deserted. Only occasionally would a car come and go on it. In the silence, only the whistle of the wind and the distant rustling of an old board could be heard. An old motel stood on the side of this deserted highway. Its large signboard was adorned with broken neon lights, which read, Desert Moon Motel since 1955. Dust had settled on the front windows. The paint on the walls was peeling. At night, the building's shadows stretched long across the street like a ghost. The motel was notorious. Locals said that travelers who stayed here for a night were never found alive the next morning. Only their belongings were left in their rooms. Several people had gone missing, but the police had never found any evidence. This mystery had made the motel a symbol of fear. One night, a young girl, Sarah Miller, was driving along Route 66 from New York to Los Angeles, but her car broke down on the way. There was no cell phone signal. There was a desolate landscape for miles around. After a long journey, she saw a faint light in the distance. It was the same old Desert Moon Motel. Sarah parked her car and stepped inside. An old man sat at the reception desk. There was a strange emptiness in his eye, a wrinkled face, and a slight smile that didn't seem natural. "Welcome to Desert Moon Motel," he said in a low voice. Sarah asked, "Can I find a place to spend the night here? My car has broken down." The old man simply wrote her name on a piece of paper, held out a rusty key, and said, "Room number 5. Enjoy your stay." Sarah went to the room. The room was old, but it looked clean. There was a white sheet on the bed. A lamp was on the table. Outside the window, a deserted road could be seen. Sarah thought, "I'll check the car tomorrow morning. Today, I just need to rest." But as soon as she turned off the light and lay down on the bed, footsteps began to come from upstairs. The sound of heavy boots which slowly moved and echoed on the bricks of the room. She thought with shock. Maybe another traveler had stopped in the room upstairs. But the old man at the reception had told her that all the rooms were empty. Sarah's heart started beating fast. This is the scariest motel in the world. Sarah got out of bed, opened the window, and peered out. It was silent. Only her car was parked on the street. No one was around. Then suddenly, the steam of someone's breath rose on the window glass, as if someone was standing outside blowing on it. Sarah stepped back. She tried to tell herself it was just an illusion, but her heart was beating faster and faster. Suddenly, there was a light knock on the door. Knock, knock, knock. "Who is it?" Sarah asked nervously. No answer, just silence. Sarah slowly opened the door. The corridor was deserted. The old light flickered faintly, but there was something written on the floor under the door. Words made of red paint. "Welcome to the list." Sarah's hands began to tremble. She picked up the paper and brought it into the room. It had names written on it like a register. Many names, all with dates written on them. Some from the 1960s, some from the 1980s, and some very recent. Sarah was shocked to see that the last name on the list was listed with the date of that night, and that name was Sarah Miller. The paper fell from her hand. Sarah ran out of the room and went back to the reception. The old man was still sitting there, but his smile had widened even more. "What's the problem, Miss Sarah?" she shouted. "What is this list? How is my name on it?" The old man said slowly, "Anyone who sets foot in the Desert Moon Motel is forever on the list." Sarah ran to leave. She opened the outer door, but it was the same corridor in front of her, the same rooms, the same rusty boards. It was as if the motel was repeating itself over and over again. She opened the door again, but every time she would end up back inside the motel, Sarah started screaming, "Let me go, please!" But no one answered her. At the same time, the sound of several footsteps began to be heard from behind. Dozens of shadows appeared in the corridor. Women, men, children, all blurred, like smoke. They said in unison, "Welcome, Sarah." That was the last sound that echoed in Sarah's ears. After that, her screams drowned in the darkness. The next morning, when the sun rose, room number 5 of the Desert Moon Motel was empty. Only Sarah's bag and purse were on the bed, and a new name had been registered in the guest book at the reception. Sarah Miller, the 6th of September, 2025.